let's take a look at the equation 4x plus 2y is equal to 8, and the equation 3x plus 3y is equal to 9. Now in this problem, I need to determine which one of these variables I want to eliminate. If I want to eliminate the x term, I would ask myself, what is the LCM for 3 and 4, which would be 12. So if I could get a 12x and a 12x, then I could either add or subtract the equations and eliminate the x. Or if I wanted to eliminate the y term, the LCM for 2 and 3 is 6. So if I could get a 6y here and a 6y here, I could either add or subtract the two equations and eliminate. So I'm going to eliminate the x term by multiplying this equation by 3 and this equation by -4. Let's see what our new equations are going to be. 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times 2y is 6y. And 3 times 8 gives us 24. As I multiply by this -4, a -4 times 3x is a -12x. A -4 times a +3y is a -12y. And a -4 times a +9 is a -36. If you notice, these are opposites, so if I were to add these two equations, any number plus its opposite is 0, so I can eliminate the x term. A +6y and a -12y is a -6y, and a +24 and a -36 gives us a -12. As I isolate my y by dividing both sides by a -6, I get my y to be equal to a +2. Then go back and pick up either one of these original equations. I'll take the second one. I'm going to substitute 2 for y. So I get 3x plus 6 is equal to 9. I'm going to subtract that 6. So I get 3x is equal to 3. Divide both sides by 3. My x is 1, so the solution is the ordered pair 1, 2. As we look at example number 4, on example 4, 5x minus 3y is equal to 6, and 2x plus 5y is equal to a -10. Again, I need to determine which one of these variables I want to eliminate. Since my y terms have opposite symbols, I'm going to eliminate the y. The LCM for 5 and 3 is 15, so in order to get a 15 here, I need to multiply by 5. In order to get 15 here, I need to multiply by 3. As I multiply, remember you need to multiply 5 times everything here. 5 times 5x is 25x. 5 times a -3y is a -15y, and 5 times 6 gives us 30. Multiply 3 times 2x, that gives me 6x. 3 times 5y gives me a 15y, and 3 times a -10 gives me a -30. Any number plus its opposite gives me 0, so I'm going to add these two equations. 25x plus 6x gives me 31x. Any number plus its opposite is 0. Any number plus its opposite is 0. Divide each side by 31. And 0 divided by a non-zero number gives you 0. So my value for x is 0. Again, go back and pick up either one of those original equations. I'll take the second equation. I'm going to substitute 0 for x. Well, 2 times 0 gives you 0, so you get 5y is equal to a -10. Divide both sides by 5. So we get y is equal to a -2. So the solution for this system is the ordered pair 0, -2. One last equation, one more, and that will end this lesson, part of our lesson on systems. So example 5, if I had 6x plus 2y is equal to 2, and 4x plus 3y is equal to 8. Again, let's decide which one of these variables we want to eliminate. So I'm going to go with the x, and I'll multiply the first one by 2, the second one by -3, because the LCM for 6 and 4 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12, and -3 times 4 is a -12. So let's get our two new equations. 2 times 6x is 12x. 2 times 2y is 4y. And 2 times 2 gives me 4. A -3 times 4x gives me a -12x. A -3 times a positive 3y gives me a -9y. And a -3 times 8 gives me a -24. Again, I'm going to add these two equations. And as I add the two equations, I get a 4y and a -9y. That gives me a -5y. A positive 4 and a -24 gives me a -20. Divide both sides by a -5. These -5's cancel, leaving me with y. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I get a positive 4. Go back, select either one of those original equations. I'll use the second one. I'll put a 4 in the place of my y. As I simplify, I get 4x plus 12. Transform the 12 by subtracting 12. Now I have 4x is equal to a -4. Divide both sides by 4. So my x is a -1. The solution for this system of equations is the order pair of -1, 4.